What's going on, everybody? So far as the deck here. Yep, here we are. Wasn't too long. Just did a video about Mercury retrograde right as it approached. Well, as we exit Mercury retrograde in Leo, we're now entering Pluto, the planet Pluto, going back into retrograde, back into Capricorn for pretty much the rest of this year. And then it goes back into Aquarius for the next 20 years to finish out this age of Aquarius cycle. Okay, so what does that mean? Pluto going into retrograde back into Capricorn. Well, look at your screenshot. Capricorn, which is my sign, is ruled by the planet Saturn. And anybody that's into tarot, whether you're a reader, a watcher, enthusiast, or whatever, you know that Capricornian energy is what's considered devil energy. Okay? Well, if you look at a tarot deck, it has 22 major arcana cards. These are like power cards. The number 5 card, which 5 signifies transformation, because that's what Pluto is, the planet of death, destruction, and transformation into something new, like the phoenix rising out of the ashes. The number 5 card in the Tarot Major Arcana is known as the Hierophant. What is a Hierophant? Simply put, Hierophants are like all your conglomerates, institutions, secret societies, religious organizations, cults, covens, whatever you want to call these gatherings of people that do all these different types of spiritual, both light and dark, and some in between. And these are your power movers and shakers, your popes and pastors and, your military leaders and politicians and government, justice system, your structural authority for society. But in this context, leaning heavily towards those that work in spiritual arts, esoteric, sacred knowledge. Okay? So what does that mean when you put all that together? And how is that going to affect these groups, the oligarchy, the aristocracy, and all these people, your kings and presidents or whatever, the premiers, whatever the hell they call themselves? How does Pluto being in retrograde back in this sign during this karma year, all of it lining up with this age of Aquarius? What does this mean for this Hierophant group? And sometimes in tarot, when they're shuffling the cards and this card comes out upside down, they call them Hierophant in reverse groups. These are your, black ops of all of these different groups and everything that are out hunting down and oppressing the chosen and this, that, and the other. So I'm going to take you over to my notepad and I'm going to show you what this means. Then we're going to go into the prophecies and really dig in and show you all what's getting ready to happen, especially towards the end of this month. All right, Pluto retrograde in Capricorn 2024. On September the 1st, which is yesterday, at the time of this recording, the day is the 2nd of September, so-called Labor Day. On September 1st, 2024, retrograde Pluto leaves Aquarius and comes back to Capricorn for the very last phase of its transit through the sign. Pluto is going to spend roughly 2 months here before entering Aquarius again on November 19th and won't come back into Capricorn in our lifetime. His next entry into Capricorn happens in 2254. This is roughly 20 years after the age of Aquarius cycle, which is roughly 248 years. See, that's how the age of Aquarius starts out. Mercury will go in retrograde in one of these signs, one of these spring signs, be it Aquarius, Aries, Pisces, Gemini, whatever. Okay, that's the first revelation of a lot of stuff that's going on among these organizations and everything. A few of the top tier might get taken out, but a whole lot of the flying monkeys and the low flunkies, yeah, a lot of them get exposed at the first of the year whenever Aquarius comes into its age. That second Mercury retrograde, which is around, the summer solstice, we just came out of one. More people started getting exposed and dealt with, and justice handed out. Well, as we got one more Mercury retrograde, this year, and it's in Sagittarius season, right as Pluto comes out of retrograde in Capricorn and goes back in Aquarius. Mercury goes back into retrograde around that same time. What time is this? So-called election season. Yep. As Pluto prepares to complete his transit through Capricorn, we go through a collective reckoning. Only what is built on truth and integrity will make it through the upcoming changes. Well, so much for a lot of these Hierophant and reverse groups, because a whole lot of this shit, pretty much all of it, is going to get aired out for the whole world to see. Pluto retrograding back into Capricorn will be particularly impactful for the people born with personal planets or angles in the last degrees of cardinal signs: Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. I got Libra in my chart, and my sun sign is Capricorn, so I'm definitely going to be impacted, especially spiritually, for the rest of this year. The individuals impacted by this event will have the opportunity to complete the intense transformational processes that have been unfolding for months or years. They will have chances to take care of unfinished business, see their past in a new light, and access a clear awareness of the deeper meaning and purpose of what they went through. All that's going to be aired out as we exit this year. And I told y'all in that video I did, Mercury retrograde, 2025 is also a karmic year too. It's a two-piece combo. 2024, 8. 2024, 2025, 9. 9 plus 8, 17. 1 plus 7, 8. So karma is really about to get served out on these old institutions that have established themselves over the past 48 years. One of the main ones, the so-called Federal Reserve, that dug their talons back into the backs of this country by way of the Federal Reserve Act of 1913, and they've been going hard ever since. And as I read you these precepts and everything, I'm going to show you what their big plan is. All right, let's change gears and see what these Hierophant and reverse conglomerates are, if they hadn't already done, preparing to do this month. Revelation chapter 6, verses 15 through 17. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man, hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and the rocks, Fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? That's Revelation chapter 6, verses 15 through 17. I'm going to read the rest of them, and then I'm going to give you a quick summation of what this is about. Next one, Isaiah 2, 19 through 21. And they shall go into the holes of the rocks and into the caves of the earth for fear of the Lord and for the glory of his majesty, when he arises to shake terribly the earth. And that's definitely figuratively and spiritually, but it can also be naturally in this 3D realm too, because Revelation does speak of an earthquake that's going to happen. It's never been like since before or afterwards. This could be it. Verse 20, in that day a man shall cast his idols of silver and his idols of gold, which they have made each one for himself to worship, to the moles and to the bats. These are subterranean creatures. Well, bats, kind of, sort of. Moles, definitely. This is speaking to them going underground. And all this false god worship that they're doing now, making sacrificing their kids and family members and homeless people and strangers and relatives or whatever to these false gods just to get status in life. When they go underground, let's get ready to stop, because the Most High gonna make his presence known like he ain't never done in this realm before, and people gonna start straightening their asses up. That was Isaiah chapter 2, verses 19 through 21. And the last one to collaborate the first two, 2nd Ezra 16 and 28, which is in what's known as the so-called Apocrypha that the Catholics took out of the original King James Bible. This is also going to be going on starting this month. For of a city there shall be 10 left, and 2 of the field which shall hide themselves in the thick groves and in the clefts of the rocks. These are your wilderness survival prepper types that have been doing all this planning since the 2012 scare and the 2000 computer scare. These people have been prepping tirelessly ever since. I even started myself in around about 2009, 2010. This is before prepping even became mainstream. So I definitely looked out of place doing this type of shit because I'm black. I don't care. I was in the Navy and Army. I was in the 82nd Airborne in the Army. So a lot of that stuff, was second nature to me. But yeah, just think about it. A city the size of Chicago or somewhere like that. You're only going to be able to find 10 men left in that city when this shit go down because all the rest of them going to be done killed each other off. Rest of them going to go hide out in them damn sticks and woods if you got them around there and in these mountains and caves. And a lot of these mountains and caves and stuff have already been stocked to the roof with stuff and don't nobody know what's in there. Okay? And last but not least, Jeremiah 16:16. Behold, I will send for many fishers, saith the Lord, and they shall fish them. And after will I send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes of the rocks. It's Jeremiah chapter 16, verse 16. So what's been happening and what's, get ready to finalize itself, you got all these celebrities and politicians and, people that claim they so important and this, that, and the other. They're transitioning. Sorry about that. Phone fell. They're transitioning themselves to these underground paradises that they have, that they've been working on, been drilling these things out for decades. Told y'all they were fracking for oil or this. No. They've been digging them a place to go. This thing going crazy. They've been digging them a place to hold up while all this shit go down. So at least they'll be safe. Notice in Revelation chapter 6, it said every free man and bond man, yeah, they got their flunkies they're going to take down there with them too. They're not going to be doing the physical manual labor down there in them places. Hell no. That's what they got them for. Shit. Now, I told y'all the Federal Reserve, they're planning on defaulting on these $1 trillion worth of debt that the United States have. That's what this drop in interest rates is all about. Because what they're going to do, when they drop interest rates, the prices of shit is going to go sky high because they're going to drastically devalue the dollar by doing that, along with all these other countries steadily increasing the damn money supply with these worthless dollars don't nobody want anymore. That's going to be just like it was during the Weimar Republic right after World War I when they was carrying money in wheelbarrows and burning that shit just to stay warm during that winter. That's where we're headed, and it's all been done on purpose because they want to bring in that digital shit, which will never take off here because this place is going to be destroyed. Ain't that the so-called chip, the mark of the beast, ain't none of that going to happen here. This place is going to be gone. Whatever hadn't been sunk under the ocean is going to be burnt to a radioactive crisp. Just like this last precept said, those are the angels that are going to get sent out. Oh, yeah. So that's what this thing about the Federal Reserve is. The United States owe them too much money. And the Federal Reserve, in case you didn't know, it have nothing to do with the federal government. The Federal Reserve is an international conglomerate of the world's richest bankers and families, your Rothschilds and Rockefellers, the so-called 13 bloodlines of the Illuminati, them. That's who's running the United States. And speaking of which, the end of this month, going into October, ends the 2024 fiscal FISCAL year. Y'all need to do some research on that. I was going to do a video on it, we'll see. But yeah, that's when the United States government hands their yearly budget for this coming year 2025 to these international bankers. And okay, this is what y'all want. Y'all want to cut spending to this department, that department, this department, and this department, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, y'all could do that, but we get ready to hit that Treasury Department. We're going to get ours. Because they get ready to damn pull out everything out of this country. They've already been doing it by sending shit to Ukraine and other places y'all don't know about. They just had you focused on Ukraine. All the wealth and value that this country had has already been outsourced. So your rich mega elites that love this side of the world and don't want to be on the other side of the world decided to dig them a whole bunch of caves in the earth, to interconnecting caves that were already there. And, you know, they down there doing their thing. Okay? So for the rest of everybody else, it's going to be hell on earth above ground. Because more and more stuff's going to be, you're going to start finding out you got people in your family that are your entire family consists of witches, warlocks, and, you know, sorcerers and people like that. The whole family. A whole lot of people get ready to find that out. These Christians will get ready to find out that they've been worshiping the devil all along. Okay? A lot of these other religions too, they got a lot of truths mixed in with a bunch of bullshit. When all this hell get to happening, like I said it was going to happen, shaking terribly the earth, people going to start wanting to straighten up then. They're going to abandon this false God worship when the real, true, and living God start acting out. They're going to remember then, when it's already too late for the majority of them. Okay? So, in closing, this is to the chosen, the real chosen. Don't get uncomfortable where you are right now. Whether you got a house or apartment or whatever your economic conditions are and everything, start getting uncomfortable and inconvenient now. Because the feds, the alphabet gangs, and these other people that were parts of these Hierophant groups, you have been heavily surveilled, gang stalked, on and offline, followed everywhere you go, and there's like a order of protection on you, so that not just anybody could just come too close to you before somebody else show up on the scene and start talking to you about maybe some shit you care about and you don't. They're gonna start riding around. They're gonna start, picking us up. Hey, that's all your stuff. Like, come on, we gotta go. It ain't safe for you to be around here no more. They're gonna start taking us down there underground with them. See, they already got all this figured out. That's why you went through all the stuff that you went through your family and so-called friends and co-workers and people that you went to church with and all this other crap. They were all paid for by the government. Why? It was all your own personal Truman Show. They were testing you to see if indeed you really are one of these chosen ones that was prophesied to wake up right around the time all this stuff is happening and start talking about this stuff. That's why all this stuff is happening to you. Yeah, nothing. How does that one song say? Weeping endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. When these people come to pick you up, they're coming to take you underground. You ain't gonna be working. You ain't gonna be doing nothing except enhancing and further developing your psychic and empathic and telepathic abilities. That's all you're gonna be doing. Remember, it said free and bond. They gonna be doing all the physical labor and everything. See, they owe you. They owe us. So we're gonna be down there. We're gonna be like a bargaining chip, like their get out of hell free card, because they're thinking is, hey, as long as we take care of them and everything during the day, just like it said in Jeremiah 15:11 and other places in the scriptures, they feel like, well, as long as we're doing it, fulfilling that role, the Most High won't get us. And they're right. He ain't gonna get them. But they ain't gonna be able to skimp though. You're gonna have to be living down there, first class, everything. And the moment they act like they want to start going back into the old ways, that's when that place gets sunk in. You may, end up dying with them. Who knows? But yeah. So when these people come, don't make a scene. Don't sit up here and start talking about all the rights you think you got. Hey, look, these people have been watching you. They didn't just show up on your ass out of nowhere for no reason. You have been watched your entire existence in this realm. intense notes and, all types of information and data and everything has been gathered about you. Everything. There are people among these Hierophant groups that know a hell of a lot more about you than you'll probably ever know about yourself. And I know that sounds unfair and kind of creepy, but it is what it is. Okay? So get ready, because they already know who you are. Don't make a scene. Don't try to fight these people. Don't make this shit no worse than it's got to be. They're actually working on the Most High's behalf, because think about it. Talk about what tunnel did you dig? What's your contingency plan for when this shit hit the fan? SHTF, you don't have one, and whatever one you think you have is destined to fail. And the Most High gonna see to it, because that's not the plan that's supposed to save you. I just showed you right here how it's supposed to go down. You will be getting kicked out of your houses and apartments or wherever you stay coming this fall as we approach this so-called election season. And that's in 2nd Ezra chapter 15, around about verse 74, I think. And I did a lesson about that, where it says they will take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. See, the Most High is behind this. No, not everybody among these Hierophant groups are all down with this. The majority of them aren't. And that's where all the resistance is coming in. That's the reason why you're wondering, okay, well, if they know these people are doing this, what's taking so long? Because they're fighting against opposition among their own concerning you. That's what this is all about. But soon, by the end of this month, you can expect some events to hit. I already did a video about that. They're probably going to shut the banks down, crash the stock market. The Fed ain't going to have to worry about raising, lowering interest rates then, because once they drop the shit, it's going to stay down. It ain't coming back up. And if the power drop off in your area, wherever you are, don't look for it to come back on either. They did a TV series about that about 10 years ago called Revolution. And they've done other movies and TV shows. My personal favorite is The Book of Eli and The Stand and The Walking Dead. We'll get ready to see all that and then some. Okay? You look at what's going on geopolitically, over there. The Persians, I ain't going to say their real name. You too sensitive about that. You just have to do your research. You know who I'm talking about. The Persians over there got their asses hemmed up pretty good. But they're going to phase all of what's going on over there out with about 2 or 3 events happening here. Now they're trying to talk about going back and I'm locked up. They won't let me out. Yeah, they're trying to bring that back and all that. Bro, everything's about to come to a head as we get through this month. A lot of people might not have lived to see the end of this month. So y'all stay frosty, head on a swivel. Hey, don't be out shucking and jiving with just any and everybody. Be looking out. You notice people around you and in your energy more so than you feel like they need to be able to get to making you uncomfortable. Sound off. Say something. Say, hey, look, you got to get up out of my energy, man, or woman, or whatever you got going on. You too close. You lingering around me, for all because I could just say you are some sort of monitoring spirit for some remote warlock or whatever. Nah, you get off around me. But y'all be on the lookout, because there's a lot of family secrets that have been held and kept away from you, that this Pluto retrograde back in the Capricorn is getting ready to shake up all these cults and covens, and it's going to be a lot of sad and heartbroken people when all these truths start coming to the surface. All right? Y'all take care.